Good morning to one and all present here and welcome to today's webinar. We have with us our Chief Product Officer, Mr. Karan Batra. He would be taking you across the different features of MarketsMojo, why these features were created, and most importantly, how to use each of them to its fullest potential. Towards the end, he would be answering some of your questions. Over to you, Mr. Karan.
Thank you, Jason. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. Like Jason mentioned, today I will take you through some of the key features of MarketsMojo, why they were created, and how to use them best. I will also give you snippets of which are the features that I like and which are the hidden features that you might not have noticed earlier. Towards the end, we'll have a Q&A session, and I would strongly urge that you please stay for the Q&A because Q&A we've seen is a very interactive process. Some of the questions you might have about any of the products can be answered, or someone else might ask a question that was on your mind. So, please stay for the Q&A in the end. It usually is very interactive. These are the features that we'll go through today, and we'll spend a few minutes on each of them. I'll spend, I think, the most time on Mojo Score to take you how to really see a stock, and then we'll spend a couple of minutes on each of them. The entire demo will take, and then we'll open the floor for Q&A. First and the most important feature is the Mojo Score. This is really the backbone of everything that we do on MarketsMojo. Mojo Score is our research and call on every listed company. On every stock, you will see this grade, which goes from strong sell to strong buy, and a score from 0 to 100. Higher the score, the better it is. Why we created the Mojo Score? When we started MarketsMojo 6 years back, we saw that people do not have access to high quality research. Retail investors. When we mean by access, it doesn't mean that they don't want research, just that they did not have access to good quality research. And that's where the idea of MarketsMojo came in. We said that at least whenever people are taking a call, they should have an informed investment choice. What people usually do when investing, a broker gives a tip, or they hear something on CNBC, an expert comes on CNBC and gives a recommendation. So people are generally basing their investment calls, their hard-earned money calls on tips. We thought people should have at least a research-backed call, and then they can take their decision. They at least have an informed call of what they're doing. Is this fine or not? And that's where the idea of MarketsMojo started. So we wanted to create an unbiased investment system. What we mean by unbiased? Whenever anyone is doing their research, there is always a human bias that comes in. There is bias, like whoever is, let's say, an analyst is making a projection. So there is a bias in the projection of the growth will happen at this rate, or we have our own biases when we invest. We bought a stock, and let's say the stock goes down. We say, okay, let me wait for the stock to come back to its price, and then I will sell it. So this is all biases that do not let us. Do not let our portfolio generate the right kind of return. So we wanted to create an unbiased system, which is completely data-driven. We do not let projections or judgments, let cloud our analysis or our call. Whatever the system is telling us, whatever the data is telling us, is what we say is our call on the company. So how do we do this? We analyze every company over 550 different parameters, which translates to more than 30 million data points on a daily basis. Now, this analysis runs across the fundamentals, the technical, the results, sectors, peers of the company. And it comes together in form of 4 key dots, which you see in front of the stock name, the dots, which are of quality, valuation, financial, and technicals. And I will go through these dots and what they mean, how we calculate them. We've seen a very high success rate of over 80% of our calls. When we say success rate, it means our strong buy should have done at least better than the benchmark, and a strong sell should have underperformed the benchmark. We've seen over a long period, strong buys have done extremely well versus the market. So we have seen this very symmetrical kind of relationship of strong buys doing better than buys, doing better than holds, better than sell, better than strong sell as a whole, as an index level. But what you need to understand is in short term, there might be blips. The market in short term might not follow this fundamental, but we've seen over a long period of time, this does happen. Market does catch up to fundamental in the long term. Let's analyze the stock together. So this is the call that I was telling you about. So Infosys is one of the highest rated stocks. It has a score of 80, and it is rated a buy in our system. this is my first level of research whenever I'm looking at a company is the dashboard. So dashboard gives me what the call on the company is, why this call has been achieved. So what are the factors working for the company or not working for the company, which have culminated into this call of buy on Infosys. This tag that you see of Mojo stocks, so Mojo stocks are a top rated stocks. I'll cover them later also. But whichever companies of Mojo stock itself, you'll see some key decision making points. Verdict is a real time research report. We'll cover the research report also in the next segment. Is the stock for you? What is the risk and return profile of the stock? If you're looking to invest, how much you should buy, returns the stock is given, and the Mojo parameters. So dashboard is the first decision-making tool. If I'm looking to buy a company, it is not even a buy or strong buy, I don't even go ahead. I just stop my research then and there. This is the daily dashboard of what is happening with the price of the company. What is the thing that I should know? What is the movement in the company? So Infosys incidentally touched a new 52-week high today. And what have been the return? What is there any bulk deal? What the shareholding pattern update? Is there any news in the company? When you go down, you'll see these 4 dots that I was talking about. And what are these 4 dots? First is the quality. Quality is the long-term fundamental strength of the company. Now, what I mean by long-term, it is not just in one period. If the company has done well, the company becomes good quality. No, it should have consistently done well over a long period of time to qualify as a good or excellent quality company. Quality for us is a gatekeeper dot. What we say is, if the company is at least not even a good quality, it can never qualify as one of our top rated stocks. But if the company doesn't, quality has 3 broad parameters. First is the growth, which is the long-term consistent growth. Again, consistent is the key word of over top line, bottom line, operating profits. Capital structure is the debt levels of the company, debt serviceability ratios of the company. And management risk is the most important factor in quality. Now, people say, how can you measure management risk? Because for that, you have to go and meet the management. You have to know who's behind the company. No, what we believe is, if the management is good, it will reflect in the numbers of the company. So if the management is good, the company will grow efficiently, consistently. It will score high on efficiency numbers, like the ROEs, the ROCs of the company. Are the profits of the company real? Is it paying out dividends? Is it paying out taxes? What is the level of related party transactions in the company? We've also built in external parameters, like what is the level of institutional holding in the company? What we also realized some time back when we were looking at quality, so we keep looking at new factors that can be included, can improve our quality parameter. We realized even though institutional holding might be high, in certain companies, the domestic holding is very low. So we thought it's possible that people FI. So we put another restriction that institutional holding should be high, plus the domestic mutual fund holding should also be high. So this is all these factors culminate in forming the quality, which is the long-term fundamentals. Our underlying philosophy when measuring valuation is, if the company is fundamentally strong, it can justify even higher valuation multiples. But if the company is weak, it cannot even justify lower valuation multiples. So what we mean is, we don't just say that if the PE above 20 is expensive or below 10 is cheap. We always combine it with the fundamental strength of the company. So fundamentals are strong, even a higher PE is fine for the company. Look at valuation from 3 angles. It's a relative valuation measure. So we see valuation relative to its own fundamentals. We see valuation relative to its own past, whether it was trading at a discount earlier or premium earlier. From that premium, where it's at what premium it's trading today. So has it become cheaper compared to its own past? And third is versus its peers. So 3 pronged measures, which is versus fundamentals, past, and peers, is a relative measure of valuation that we create. Now, very important, valuation is one of the methods that goes into creating the overall score of the company. It is not the only parameter. A lot of people ask us, like, let's say Infosys case, the stock is expensive, but it's still a buy. It can be a buy, provided the other 3 factors are very positive for the company. So it's a combination of the factors which combine to form the overall call, and not just one factor in isolation. Third is the fundamental trend of the company, the financial trend. So this is the trend in the recent quarterly result numbers. So for example, so when I'm saying it's a trend parameter, let's say one parameter is sales. So is the sales growing? Is the sales growing every quarter? Is it growing consistently? What is the rate of change? What is the rate of change versus its peers? What is the rate of change in sales? Let's say on a half-yearly basis, trailing half-year basis, trailing 9-month basis, trailing annual basis. This is just one factor on sales. This goes across the quarterly results, the P&L, the balance sheet, ratios, cash flow, shareholding. So there, you can also see on every company we've shown this graph of how the financial trend of the company has been and what has been the price performance. Higher the score, the better. We've seen score ranges from let's say minus 30 to almost plus 40. So above 30 grade we categorize as outstanding. Fourth is the technical parameter. So financial trend and technical are the two fundamental momentum, and this is a price momentum of the stock. So we combine all these parameters. So technicals for us is not a very intraday or very short term. It is slightly long term. We look at weekly and monthly parameters. Only one parameter is daily, which is moving averages. And what we see here, so this is a combination of our technical parameters. You can also see when the technicals improve. So at this level, it became bullish at 783. Today, it's 1673. If you want more details on the RSI, what this parameter is all about, and our rating on every parameter. Now, how the page is structured is all the summary is on the left and the details are on the right. So if you want to read the summary, you can just scroll down. If you want more details, you can keep going to the right. So like this is the results section. You can see more details of quartile analysis, the beta of the company, risk and return parameters, return in different periods. This is the financials of the company. This is, let's say, the quarterly results. So when you scroll to the right, you can get more details on which is the broader trend in the numbers if you want to do your own analysis. If you want to see the base data, you can click on all data and get the base data from which this analysis has been arrived at. One thing I do look at is usually I go to the compare section and I see, okay, this Infosys gave very good performance. Can I compare it to the other other players in the same sector? So Infosys 76%, Wipro is 115%. If I go down, I can see other IT companies, Mindtree 149, Tata Elxsi 309. I can click on Tata Elxsi and I can see what the call is on Tata Elxsi. So Tata Elxsi, even though it has gone up 300%, it is still a buy at this rate at a score of 71. So this in a nutshell is the stock page. Now, for new companies when I'm looking at, if it's small and what has been the performance, what is the call on the company. I won't play it, but you can see this video on all companies. If you want to track the stock, you can just in one click add it to your watch list and then start tracking. So what all did we see? Dashboard, which is the first decision-making tool. Price summary is what to know today. Technical and financial are the short-term momentum parameters, while quality and valuation are the long-term parameters. For quick glance, look at the stock video. The structure of the page, scroll down for summary and scroll right for details. You can click for base data. You can, if you want to see all data, and you can track the stocks by one click adding to your watch list. So this is the way the page is structured. There's information in different segments, different parts of the page. Verdict is a real-time research report. Now, what this research report is, so it will collate all the necessary information across the page and create a report for you with the call and why this call has been arrived at. So if I download this report, this is a real-time research report that is getting generated right now for me. So just open. So this is the report on Tata Elxsi that got created just now while we're talking at 11:18 with all the latest information. Now, this call on the company is buy, and why this call was arrived at. So these are the key parameters, and here you can see what are the parameters summary. Like the verdict, you can see the key decision-making points here on the right. Also, what is not working for the company? What are the risk factors in this call? Like valuation is expensive for this company, very expensive in fact. When you go down, you can see every summary is put in much more detailed format of when we say higher management efficiency, why that has been arrived at, what are the different underlying parameters. If we say financial and positive, last 5 quarters, the factors which are working in financial trends. So you can get much more detail. So what Verdict does is it collates all the necessary information for you to analyze this company in one report format. So every company's report will be different because it will be based on what is important for that particular company. And the order will also be decided based on what is more important for that company. So that's how this entire Verdict report gets generated. It's on the fly, it's completely automated. You can get this report by going on either the stock page. From research, you go to Verdict and you can search a company and get the report. Now, this report, because it has the call. Now, so wherever we help you make investment decisions, there is the unpaid users can see, can only sample maybe 2 or 3 reports, but that's when their access gets restricted. So now this is research on a company, but what to do when you're looking at one particular stock? What is the call on that stock? So there you can use the switcher. So this is a stock by stock switcher. You can go to the switcher section, and let's say I'm looking at a small company. Let me say Kaya. I have, let's say, 200 shares. So what the switcher will help me is give me better stocks in the same sector if available in the same market cap segment or across the market. Now for Kaya, which is a part of the lifestyle sector, there is no stock which is rated by. So it is not even offering me a better stock in the sector because there's nothing that is available in that sector. So it is asking me to go across small caps and run the switcher. So what the system is suggesting, if I'm looking at small cap stocks, I have Kaya, I should switch out of Kaya 200 shares and get into 293 shares of NIIT. Now, why get out of Kaya and why get into NIIT is the switcher report. I have more options. If I'm looking across the market, I can even go for Vedanta or Dr. Lal Pathlabs. Now, let's say why the system is saying NIIT. Like we saw, the Verdict is a single stock research report. This is a comparative research report of why get out of Kaya, what are the factors not working for Kaya, and what are the factors which are working for NIIT because of which you should switch. This is that comparative report. Kaya is weak long-term fundamentals, flat results, risky valuation, while on the same hand, NIIT is healthy growth in long-term operating profit, outstanding results in June, and a bullish technical trend. Why Kaya is a sell and why NIIT is a buy with a score of 87. Again, when you go down, each factor will be displayed much more detailed. So it's a comparative report. So these 3 things, which is the stock page, the Verdict and switcher, is the research element for every stock which is available. Now, how to track your stocks? So for that, you can use the watch list and the portfolio analyzer. Let me go to watch list first. You can go to monitor, click on watch list. You can create up to 5 watch lists in the system. So this was one of the requests that we got from a lot of our users, that they want to create more watch lists. That's why we created up to 5 watch list functionality. You can, like I said, from the stock page, you can add to watch list, or from here you can search and add a stock to your watch list. One of my favorite features when I'm looking at watch list is this, return since track date. So it is not just today what is happening in the stock. It is also when you thought of buying the stock or selling the stock, what has happened since then. So this Tata Chemicals from 26 July is up 10%. This Tata Steel, still a strong buy. From 12 Jan when I started tracking, is up 100%, but it's still a strong buy. So it's still giving me an indication if I want to go into the stock today also. There is much more information, not just today's price. There is MarketsMojo scores or there are ratios, there are key results, which help you take a better investment decision rather than only the price impact. Plus, once you add a stock to your watch list, we start tracking it for you. And whenever there is any price sensitive information, like the new results are out or the call on the stock changes, or let's say a stock is hitting 50-week high low, we'll send you mobile notification, emails, this website notification that you see this bell icon, like there is a result alert, there is a 52-week high low watch list you can add in your accounts. Like we have a score on every stock, we've also created a model of a portfolio score. So this looks at your holdings across, the rating of the holdings, your allocations to different stocks, and gives an overall score on the stock. So this company, this portfolio, this dynamic portfolio has a score of 63. It's an average portfolio. Now, you'll get at many places, which is your holdings and what has happened to your holdings, what are the returns from the day to day. Again, like the watch list, there are much more deeper information of, let's say, dividends or alcohol or ratios, financials, the results, which is all presented in a table format so that you can easily understand what is happening with your holdings. One of my favorite features here is the total return tab. What this tells me is not just the return of the stocks I'm holding today from their average price. Calculate the returns accurately. We would urge you to put your entire transaction history, because then we can capture when you started, what was your investment amount then, what returns you made on the stocks you sold. So this will run across your realized, your dividends, your unrealized profit from the date of your transaction history. Get much deeper cuts of information in terms of, you'll get Jason.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So you get much deeper information in terms of returns, what has contributed to the returns, whether it is which sectors, which market cap, which stocks. You'll get IRR returns, calendar returns. You'll get much deeper analysis, and so you can understand what has generated returns for you. One new concept that we've introduced in portfolio is the composite index. Now, let's say your portfolio is 60% large cap, 20% mid cap, 20% small cap. What do you really benchmark your performance to? So we have created a unique index for every individual basis their portfolio. In this case, the portfolio will be 60% Sensex, 20% BSE mid cap, 20% BSE small cap. And this portfolio also keeps adjusting whenever you make any changes to buy or sell a stock basis the market cap at that point of time. This allocation of the composite benchmark will also change. So this is, we believe, is the right benchmark for you to compare your portfolio performance with. So everywhere you'll see the comparison with the composite index. Now, there are different concepts that we introduce. Now, for example, you get stuck anywhere and you want to know what this is, like what VAR or value at risk is. You can always click on this information icon. This information icon, will tell you what information is provided on this card and why is it important, why is it relevant. So on every stock card or portfolio or wherever, you'll find this icon, which explains more about the details on this card. You get much more depth of information, like we said, diversification quality when you go down. Like there is a video on every stock, there is also a short video on your portfolio. You can click here. Again, it gets generated right now. A live video on your portfolio will be generated and it will tell you what is going right with your portfolio, what is not going right. You can also download a report, like you can download a verdict report, you can download your portfolio report. So this portfolio report goes across your portfolio, collects whatever is important, puts it in a PDF format that you can download or you can save for later. What's going right, what's not going right. Now, like I mentioned, that you should add your transaction history, which we feel is very important. You can go to add, search and add. There are two ways. You can either search a stock and add, like if I want to add Infosys, I can put my date and transaction, I can click on adding more stocks, or I can upload. Now, we've provided some some gateways where you can upload your portfolio from. There is also MarketsMojo format, which is very simple, 3-4 columns. Just put the stock name, the date, the quantity, the price, and you can upload it. Or there are some media sites, some brokers that you integrated. So let's say you want to download from Money Control, you can click on Money Control, continue. There's also a short video that will help you where to go on Money Control, which file to download, how to upload it in the portfolio analyzer.
I think there's a slight net issue at Karan's and I'll just call him up.
For you.
Hello?
Hello? Yes.
Yeah, I think you dropped off.
Sorry, yeah.
To share your screen.
I'm just sharing my screen. Is it visible now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry for the internet issue. Yeah, so once you add the stock to your watch list or portfolio, we start tracking them for you, and we'll send you any price sensitive information that that you should be aware of. Next is the Mojo stock. Now, Mojo stocks is one of our most sought after feature. This is our top 1% stocks, so which are the best stocks across all the 4,000 stocks which are rated, which are the top 1% of the stocks. For this, you can go to invest, top stock picks. Now here you can see the top 10, or you can go to different market segments like mid cap. So here you can see Mastech has been a Mojo stock since last 12 months. It has given 376% return in this period. So every stock, whenever it came in, what has been the performance since then will be mentioned here. Now, whether it's positive or negative, everything is completely transparent. It will be mentioned on the page itself. You can go to the full list. Full list gives you a complete view of all the stocks which are there, either there today or were there earlier. So the ones which are in black are the ones which are still in the portfolio. The ones in white have exited the list. Now, when they came in, when they went out, what price of entry, what price of exit, what performance they gave versus the benchmark is all mentioned on this page. If you go down, you will also see the ones which have not done well. So maximum loss you see was RBL Bank of 18%. But the greens will far outweigh the reds, and the performance also, the multiples of performance that the positives are given is much higher than the ones which are not. So this is the top 1% stocks. You can also go to the current list tab. So these are all card formats. In current list, you can do a lot of, this is a table format. You can do a lot of sorts here, like you can sort basis the name, or you can sort basis the score, or the performance that these stocks give. So once the stock becomes part of the Mojo stock list, we alert you whenever there is changes via. So instant alert comes in the form of app notification or the website notification here. We also send you a weekly wrap of all the changes that have happened during the week, which stocks came in, which stock went out. We have just started sending you a daily update as well of if the stock has come and not went out of the Mojo list. We are working on this to give you much more information whenever a stock enters or exits as well. So Mojo stock is a top 1% stock, and we alert you whenever there are changes in those stocks. Now, still Mojo stocks is a list of top stocks. It is how do you really create a portfolio, or how do you really invest in these? You can either keep investing in a top stock, but there you have to be much more vigilant. You have to keep on seeing which stock is in, which stock is out. A stock might get out just because another better stock comes in, because they're top stocks. So you can do that, but you have to be really looking at the screen very constantly, monitoring it very closely. Another way is the model portfolio. Model portfolio is what we call the zero headache investing. So you put the amount, select the profile, and then we start managing it for you. So you can go to invest, start a model portfolio. Again, here you can create up to 5 model portfolios. Let me generate a new portfolio. 3 steps, like I said, put the amount. Let's say I want to put 2 lakhs. There are 3 portfolios available right now based on the different risk segments of aggressive to conservative. The difference will be in terms of the stock, the allocations across stocks. Like aggressive can go up to 40% in small and micro cap, while conservative will not have small and micro caps. This will be somewhere in between. This can go up to 40% in a sector, conservative 25% in a sector. All 3 portfolios have done extremely well versus the benchmark over the last 5 years. So based on your profile, you can choose which portfolio you want to go for. Let's say I generate a portfolio. When I generate a new portfolio, it is creating a portfolio of top 10 to 15 stocks right now. So it will go and pick up which are the top stocks today and create a portfolio for me. So people have asked us that, I created the portfolio 15 days back, and when I'm creating today, if the stocks are different. Those can be different because, again, like I said, it is the best stocks today at this moment, which are the best stocks. This will create a portfolio. And whenever, so let's say there is a new stock, high rated stock that comes in after 5 days. The person who's creating after 15 days might get that stock, but doesn't mean that the stocks that you already own are bad. Once we suggest a stock to you, we start tracking the stock 24/7. And if there is a change required in those 10 stocks is when we'll come back to you and say that, okay, now there is a change. You have to sell this stock and buy this stock. So the buy suggestion go the next day. Once we tell you that, okay, sell this stock, the next day the buy suggestion will go. So this new aggressive portfolio that got created is 48% large caps, 30% small caps, and 20% mid caps. I can save this portfolio. Now a deal sheet gets generated. I can save the deal sheet. This will have the details of the transactions. Also, I can use that as a reference for my trading, or I can send it to the book. This is the new model portfolio. Now, one important thing, this is a virtual portfolio. So whenever we are telling you to make a change, we are assuming that the change is happening and we'll update it in the portfolio on its own. So, we are assuming that you're following these steps. Please follow in a diligent manner over a long period of time. In the short term, there might be ups and downs, but we believe following a disciplined approach over a long period of time will help you beat the benchmark. So this is the new portfolio. You can add or remove investment in this portfolio itself, and you can also see transaction history. Whenever there is a change, we'll alert you via email, via app notification, again via this website notification. You get alert of if a change has to be made, why the change has to be made, and what is the alternate stock that you can get into. So model portfolio is to create a new portfolio. What about the stocks that you already own? So like we saw this portfolio that I was showing you, this portfolio is a 28 lakh portfolio, dummy portfolio. I can now how to better manage this portfolio. You can either go from here, monitor, and you can go to portfolio optimizer. You can also click here, get expert advice on your portfolio. If you have multiple portfolios, you can either do it together. You can optimize the entire portfolio together, or you can also individually optimize the portfolio. So like I'll optimize this portfolio, 14 stocks across 10 sectors. Now here it is analyzing your portfolio. This information is coming from the analyzer itself, where it is telling you, okay, what has happened in the portfolio so far? What has worked for me? What has contributed to the performance? What has not contributed to the performance? What has made losses for me? So I can, for more details, I can click here and I can see, okay, these are the sectors, that made money, and these are the sectors that lost money for me. Portfolio optimizer will help you better your portfolio, strengthen your portfolio across two parameters. First is the portfolio construction, and second is stock selection. Now, why construction is important? Construction will look at your allocations across stocks, market caps, sectors, and give you the best, help you tailor your portfolio to have a more balanced portfolio. Why this is required? Now, let's take this example, tail stocks. Tail stocks are where I have very small allocation. Now, this was a 28 lakh dummy portfolio. Let's say in RT Industries, I only had 900 rupees. Let's say the call was absolutely right. I got the right stock. If the stock triples from here, I will make another 2,700 rupees in a 28 lakh portfolio. That is not adding any value to my portfolio. So allocation becomes very important. This is a case of under allocation. And let's say this is a case of extreme over allocation. In one stock, I have invested 44% of my money. What if something goes wrong with this one stock? Then it will have a very big negative impact on our portfolio. So over allocation increases your risk of the portfolio, and under allocation hampers your chances of returning the portfolio. And that's why construction becomes very important. Similarly, across sectors, across top stocks, what is the allocation and where it is not kept. Next, the stock selection, again, the most important factor. Have I invested in the right stocks or not? So I have a few stocks that are below average quality. Let's say I have Antony Waste below average quality. I've already lost 31% of my money in this stock. I can see more details here. Let me continue. This is the profile of the portfolio. This is not your risk profile. This is the profile which is uploaded now. We saw one stock itself was 44%. That's why it's an aggressive portfolio. I can modify this. Let's say I want to be moderate going forward. Now, to achieve a moderate profile, this is the overall action plan of what needs to be corrected. And this is how I will go about correcting this process. So of the stocks that I own, 8 are fine. I can continue to hold. Tata Elxsi, I need to trim down. It's a good stock, but I need to trim. How much? So I'm holding 300. I have to sell 208 and I'll be left with 92. I can make changes. So this is a completely do-it-yourself DIY tool. You can always change the suggestions. These are the stocks that I need to get out of. I can also, if I want to continue holding this, I can drag and drop it from here to here, or in whichever column I want. I can also do a bulk edit of all the stocks in this category. So Infosys, although it's a tail stock, it's still in my hold. Now in the next step, it is saying you're holding Infosys, it's a good stock, you should increase the quantity. So you're holding only one, it should be 67. So what this is saying is we started with a 65% allocation to large caps. Currently we're 38 after doing all the selling and increasing right now. The system for a moderate profile will take you to 50% allocation. To achieve this, these are the stocks. So this is a basket of stocks from which I should select any two. Let's see, 2 large caps, 1 mid cap, and 3 small caps. So my cash is almost allocated. There might be some amount left because of stock prices and rounding off. This is the new portfolio, which is 50% large cap, 20% small cap, and 30% mid cap. These are my 15 stocks, and this is my new allocations. So you see, my portfolio got right size. Now it's 13.5 in Tata Elxsi, 12% in another stock. You'll also get a deal sheet. Like the model portfolio, this deal sheet has all the details of what you need to sell, what you need to buy. Again, you can send it to your broker or use it as a reference. Now, this portfolio does not get automatically updated. Model portfolio gets updated automatically because we are kind of suggesting you on that. While in Portfolio Optimizer, you'll have to make the changes once you update the portfolio. So once you've done the trade, you have to update the portfolio so that we know that you made the changes. Now, when to use the optimizer? Like I said, you'll get all the price sensitive information. There, that time you can come and see, okay, if the call on a stock has changed, you can run the optimizer again. Or we suggest to come at least once a month in optimizer portfolio. Next, the stock of the month. Now, from a pool of Mojo stocks, our top 8 stocks, our CIO, Mr. Sunil Damania, picks one stock every month, which is the best investment opportunity at that point of time. Now, for selecting this one stock, A, the stock has to be highly rated by the system. B, he does a deep dive qualitative research on top of the number crunching research that the system has already done. So here, in this case, he might speak to the management in some cases, or he might read the con call reports and then come out with the business case. So you'll get this report in your inbox on the 10th of every month of best investment opportunity for that month. So to access this, you can go to invest, stock of the month. You can see all the past reports also, and you can read the reports. You can see the performance that they've given so far. So this month report is Hindalco. We also close the call center. So once the stock enters the list, we start tracking it, and if a change is required, we'll come back to you and say, okay, you need to close this call. And we'll also give a detailed rationale of why the call is closed. It doesn't matter if it's in profit or loss. If you feel the business case does not hold anymore, we'll come back to you and tell you that now the call has to be closed, and this is the reason why. Next, the screener feature. Now, if you want to find your own stocks that match your investment philosophy, you can use the screener. We have created 3 kinds of screener. First is the investment idea, which is the pre-created investment ideas, I would say. Now, there are different ideas of near-term positive drivers or high dividend companies, high growing companies. So let me take, let's say, turnaround companies. You can see how this was created. So what are the factors which have gone in. So this financial trend should have been negative and it should have turned around the performance. So let's say, as you can see, it's very positive now. It used to be very negative. So it's a very high change, and that's why it's been categorized as a turnaround company. It's a very small company. Let me still go and see what this is. Wildlife Industries. So you see, it was very negative, but now it has consistently turned around this performance, which is also reflected in the price of the company. Now, these kind of companies will not qualify as a major stocks because it takes time for the quality, which is a longer term parameter to move. So these will not feature in our major stocks. But these are potential companies which can come if they continue to be on the trajectory. So this is one of the screens. You can go across different screens, pre-created screens. Second is the Mojo Logic screener, which I personally use. So this gives me an ability to filter across the broad Mojo parameters of quality evaluation. So let's say I'm building this screen today. I want to have a company which is at least green quality, at least a fair valuation. Financial strength should be very positive or outstanding, and technical should be bullish. Let's say I want to have this screen, and I only want a mid-cap company. So these are the 8 stocks that qualify. So what you can also do, you can save this screen and you can come back to it later. Whenever you want, you can come back to the screen. You can also add these stocks directly to your watch list by clicking there and adding them to your watch list. Third is the Mojo Expert Screener, which is if you want to build in a much more detailed screen, you want to combine with the Mojo parameters, you want to combine across, let's say, more financial parameters also. For example, let's say I want a company which is at least a good or excellent quality. The financial trend this quarter is, let's say, very positive, and financial trend change should be at least, let's say, 10 points or more. It's good and it's become even better. And let's say I want to put that return in the last, let's say, 1 year should be at least 50%. And profit growth in the last 1 year should be at least 20%. Let's say I put these parameters. I can put other parameters like I want to have a P ratio of this much or this range. I can run this analysis and these are the stocks that come out. All the parameters will be here that I've selected. And again, I can save the screen. I can add these stocks to the watch list. Now, before we open the floor for Q&A, I want to highlight that Mojo Professional subscription, as you know, on the site is for $29.99 for 1 year, $59.99 for 2 years. Only for people who are in the webinar, for our Mojo Pro users, they're giving a very special offer of $19.99. That too for 2 years. So you get 1 year free with the $19.99. And all the upcoming products will also be included. So when the new products come, the prices will rise. If you subscribe today, if you're not a subscriber, you subscribe today for $19.99 for 2 years. All the upcoming features will also be included. Plus, if you are already a subscribe member and you pay this $19.99 for 2 years, the subscription gets extended by another 2 years. So if there's 1 year remaining on a subscription today, it will become 3 years. So it gets extended by another 2 years of your subscription. This price is not available on the website. It is only exclusively for people who are in the webinar. We'll drop a link in the chat box so you can pay from that link directly, or we'll also send you email after this webinar is over with the payment. We also got requests for people who wanted to invest for a long term, who wanted to subscribe for long term. So for very, very limited period, we've opened for very limited slots. We opened this package. This is a 10-year pack of MarketsMojo at $99.99. There are very, very limited slots. And so if you want to have a long-term price, you want to lock in this price for long term, then I would strongly suggest you please go for this. With that, I will open the floor for Q&A.
Yeah. Okay, so this question, Mr. Rocky from the YouTube chat, is that how many switch reports of buy or sell reports, any stock, can we generate per day? Can you please clarify?
Our paid subscribers can download reports for any company. Then there is no restriction for our paid users. The unpaid users can only sample 2 or 3 reports. But very important. I want to highlight this one point because we saw some misuse. This is only for your personal use. Please be very careful. If anyone circulates these research reports, we have a track of which we have an idea of every report that gets downloaded. If there is unauthorized usage of this report, we have cancelled subscriptions of users in the past. If it's for personal use, there's no restriction. You can download as many reports, but please be very careful. Please do not circulate these reports because that leads to an automatic cancellation of your membership, and in some cases also pursue legal action. So this wanted to highlight because it's a very recent case that happened on the street. Sorry.
Yeah. So this question by George is that there was a tag in Mojo stock page with part of model portfolio. Why was this removed? Could you keep it back?
So why we removed this? Stock might be part of Mojo stocks, but in model portfolio, because there are some other conditions also that we put, and so people, were getting actually confused that okay, this is a Mojo stock, but why am I not getting in a model portfolio? Because it's possible that they've selected a conservative profile and they're not getting a small cap stock, or the result is due in the next 3-4 days, and that's why it's not getting recommended in model portfolio today. So because of these reasons, people are getting a little confused. That's why we removed the tag. However, all the recommended stocks are from the same pool. So the Mojo stocks, the model portfolio stocks, the stocks which are recommended in the portfolio optimizer are from the same pool. But just to avoid confusion, we remove that.
Okay. Yeah. I picked this another question by Vidya Raj. Is that what is an ideal long period of time that Mojo suggests for holding a stock? A year, 3 years? What's the period?
We do not suggest any holding period. We do not suggest any target price. We do not suggest any stop loss. We believe till the time the company is a highly rated company, we will continue to maintain our rating on the company. Whenever there's a change in rating is when we will come back to you and say, okay, now this scenario has changed. I need to get out of the stock. The whole idea of buy and hold is actually shifting across the globe to buy and monitor. We believe you buy good quality stocks, you buy highly rated stocks, but then you have to monitor it very diligently and very closely. And whenever there's a change in the call, you need to take appropriate actions. Now, we will alert you if the stock is in your model portfolio, tell you if you have to exit. If it's a Mojo stock, again, we tell you that stock is part of the Mojo stock or not. If it's in your portfolio, we'll come back to you and say if the call has changed. But you need to take prompt actions. Like I said, till the time the stock is highly rated, we will continue to have our rating. If you go to the Mojo stock section, if you go to a full list, you can see till what time these were in the stock. Now, there will be stocks which have been there for 9 months, 8 months, 12 months, but there might be stocks which have been there for a shorter time, like even 10 days or 15 days, 11 days in this case. So if the call, the validity is no longer valid, we will close the call. That's what we're saying about unbiased investment. We don't get anchored to the price we bought at. If the call currently is not good because of whatever, either fundamental reason or technical reason, we'll come back and we will close this.
Okay. Yeah. So this question by Mr. Shanoy is that I current my portfolio is with Sherkan and the stocks are bought on SIP basis. How can I upload my portfolio in the Mojo system?
So you can use the upload functionality. I'm not sure if we have Sherkan. Let me just check. You can import stocks. So Sherkan is not one of our listed, where we have that format. So, what we can do is you can use the upload Excel format. It's a very simple format. You can download the details from Sherkan and you can just copy paste in this Excel sheet. You just need 3-4 columns: the date, the buy or sell transaction, the price, and the quantity, and then you can upload it in one shot. Also, if possible, you just share your Sherkan format. So we'll also try and incorporate that format here itself. But in the meantime, you can use the MarketsMojo upload Excel format.
Okay. So this question by Sonali is that hi Karan, which stock would give more returns? Is it the top 10 or full list? Where should we select from?
So we did do a study in this, and obviously we saw the higher the stock rating does give better performance. We also saw that stocks which have had longevity, so the stocks which have been Mojo stocks for at least 3 months and have already even given more than 20% return, those stocks have done even better going forward. So they were highly rated, they did perform. There's a very high likelihood that they will keep performing in the future. And so there were two sets that we figured out. One is the longevity, and second is the highly rated stock. So the higher the rating of the stock, the more likely it is to perform better. But again, I said, one thing that you should keep in mind while investing is please don't take a single stock approach. Always take a portfolio approach. No one will go right 100% of the times. Some stocks will give you high returns. Some stocks might not perform. Even the highly rated one might not perform. The second or the third or the fifth highest might give high return. Always take a portfolio approach. Balance your portfolio across stocks, sectors, market caps. The best way I would suggest is the model portfolio. It already takes us to core in consideration and creates a portfolio. It will also track it and tell you when to exit and when to buy next.
Okay, yeah. So one of the investors, Praveen Kumar, is that should we go for discount share brokers or full service brokers? Do you have any opinion?
I don't have an opinion here, sir. This is really your own personal comfort. If you have a personal rapport or a comfort level with a full service broker, you're getting some additional services, then go for the full service broker. Otherwise, now the discount broking platforms are very seamless. If you're fine, so the thing is, you will not get a relationship manager. You cannot call someone and place a trade. You'll have to come online and do the trades yourself. If you're comfortable doing that, then discount broker is a good option because you don't have to pay for the rates. But if you have other facilities that your full service broker or a relationship with a person, then that is a different equation. Whatever you're comfortable with, we suggest that you can trade with them. So you can use the model portfolio and trade with any of the brokers.
Okay. Yeah. We can discuss with Mr. Hasmukh that I've generated two aggressive portfolios on 26th July and another one on 23rd July. But the portfolio is down by more than 4%. And should I sell my current portfolio and reinvest once the market pauses? What should I do now?
So what is happening is across the board. Now, this is not just that your aggressive portfolio is down. If let's say, let me just go to the market section. So if you see, there is a market-wide profit booking phenomena that we see. Now, when I'm saying market-wide profit booking, it is, and especially in small cap, because an aggressive portfolio will have a larger share of small caps. Small caps and mid caps have actually fallen a lot, and this has really started in the last 1 week. So you can say 5% small cap versus 3%. But you also have to remember that these segments did very well recently. So if you see the YTD, let's say, movement, small caps are still, even after even the recent fall of 4-5%, still up 40%. Mid cap is still up 30%. So so if you think about it, these have done extremely well. And what is happening, we feel in the market, is a short-term profit booking phenomenon which is happening. When you add a stock to your model portfolio, there will be short-term ups and downs. But we are tracking that portfolio. If any change is required, we will come back to you and tell you, okay, now you have to exit this, and this is the next stock you have to buy. When you're investing with a longer term horizon. You're not holding every stock for long term, but you are investing with a longer term horizon. There will be short term ups and downs. We believe that be invested in a disciplined manner over a long period of time. What you are asking is more of a call on the market of whether you should be invested, not invested, when to time the market. No one can time the market. So what we believe is we will help you invest in good quality stocks. Over the long period, you should do better than the benchmark. But during the short-term periods or turbulent times, there might be ups and downs. The portfolio might go down. So, but what we are helping you do is pick good stocks and then be invested in those.
Okay. Yeah. So Soren has a question on subscription. Just pick it up quick. He's saying if you're already a premium member for 3 years, how does the charge of 10-year get adjusted?
If you're already a premium member of 10 years and you select this pack, your subscription becomes 13 years. It gets extended by another 10 years. If you want to get a full 10-year pack, like you don't want 13 years, you want 10. What you can do is this 2-year pack of 19,999, you can pay this multiple times. So you can pay this another 3-4 times to get your subscription to 8 to 10 years. So that's how what you can do if you want just the complete 10-year period, or if you want, you can extend it to 13 years because this 10 will be added to your existing 3.
Okay, I've dropped both the links in the chat box for the investor. Yeah, I'll just pick the next question. Is that this question is by Ramesh? Is that I saw that you have an open source for the US markets. Can you offer more discount for 10-year subscription for the US markets?
So yes, we have recently launched a similar website across the globe. So it's not just US; there are multiple different countries which are listed. So you can directly from your MarketsMojo account, you can go to InfinHub is the site. You can click here, so you can log in with your account. However, the subscription, so you get very similar analysis. That not all the products are still not there, but we are slowly and steadily increasing the coverage and across the globe, and we're putting the different products that we have on MarketsMojo on InfinHub as well. However, the subscription rates for InfinHub is separate. Jason, what is the rate for a Mojo professional user?
It's $399.
So we are offering a special introductory rate of $399 from the listed price of $999. But it's a separate subscription. It is not combined with your MarketsMojo subscription.
Yeah, I'll drop those links too. I'll just read this question by Rajesh. Is that the Mojo score changes, but how much is the weightage in the technical part? As many times buy becomes hold even if there is no fundamental change. Example, Poly Medicare, Dr. Lal Path Labs as well. There's no great change in fundamental, but due to the technicals, there's been a change.
Correct. So you rightly pointed out, there are four parameters of quality, valuation, financial, technical. So quality and financial trend will change only with the results, but valuation and technical, which have the price element, can change daily. Because of this, the score can potentially change on a daily basis. Now, the weightages across these 4 dots are dynamic, and and you're right, technical can have an impact on the change in score of the company. However, like I said, our technical is not a very intraday or a daily technical. It is slightly longer. We take weekly and monthly parameters. So the trend takes a bit of time to change. Only because of very short movement, it will not change. If it's slightly longer trend, that is when our technical call will change. But you're right, technical does have an impact. And so that's what we call. We say there are the longer term parameters and there are momentum parameters. Financial is a result based momentum and this price and volume momentum. Technical does have an impact, and technical is an important factor because that's what the external market is telling you. Because a lot of times fundamentals is the result has come. Now the result came 2 months back. There is nothing really you can analyze on the company apart from how the price is moving. And that's where technical becomes an important parameter because that tells you what the market, that is in a way crystallizing all the market information for you in the price movement of the stock.
Okay. Yeah, just with this question by Sandeep Sharma, like, can you give a proportion in which to invest for model portfolio, strong buy, stock of the month, screener stocks? Is there any proportion?
There is no proportion actually. It is based on what you are comfortable with investing. If you have the time and you are okay to do Mojo stock investing where you select the top 10 stocks and keep buying or selling, you have that kind of time, you can go for that. Or if you have model portfolio, I personally follow the model portfolio, so it is automatically tracking my portfolio. It is telling me when to buy, when to sell, what is the change required. So I don't have to go and be on keep tracking it very minutely. For stock of the month, we say if you have some money on the side every month, you can put in stock of the month. You can build your portfolio there because it's picking up one stock every month on the 10th. So that is a side pocket investment that you can do. But if you want to follow the study, you can divide half the money in stocks and half the money in model portfolio. But depending on how much time and how much effort you are willing to put.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just pick this question by Mr. Anil. Hi, Karan, can you show us again how to add a model portfolio with the actual price we have bought as per the deal sheet created and the cash added and balance available after the purchase?
Sure. So, like I said, the model portfolio is a virtual portfolio. So you cannot change the prices on that. That we are assuming that this prices, the trade is happening at this price. Now there will be, once you buy the stock, there will be definitely a bit of difference in the price that you buy and in the model portfolio. But we believe over a longer period of time, this should even out. However, what you can do is you can create another account in the portfolio. You can, in your own portfolio, you can create a different account of the model portfolio where you can put the actual trade. So you will know what the virtual portfolio is, and you will also know what the actual portfolio is. So you can also check the difference of what is happening in the virtual portfolio and the real portfolio. But right now, the option to edit in the model portfolio is not available. So you can create another portfolio in the analyzer. So you can go ahead and create up to 5 accounts. You can use one account only for the model portfolio.
Okay, fair enough. A question by Mr. Venkatesh that, hi Karan, are we supposed to do portfolio optimization on the model portfolio?
No. If you have the model portfolio, don't use the optimization. We are tracking that portfolio for you anyways, and whenever the change is required, we will come to you and tell you, okay, now you have to sell this and you have to buy this. So you don't need to do the portfolio optimization on your model portfolio. Even if you do the portfolio optimization, I think 99% it will not say anything. Maybe because the stock might have rallied, the allocation might have gone forward, but don't worry about it. If you have a model portfolio, we are tracking it. You don't need to specially go and optimize it.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I'll just pick this question. One of the investors that, how do we dismantle a model portfolio created as sample? Which tool to use to wipe and start new?
Sure. You can delete your portfolio. So if I go to the model portfolio, you can create up to 5 portfolios. Those will be listed here. And you can also go and delete this. So if I want to delete this portfolio, I can just click on delete. But please be very careful. Once you delete, you will not be able to get this back. So you delete the portfolio, and that portfolio will get deleted from here. And you can then generate a new portfolio. So now this last portfolio is gone, and I can go and generate a new portfolio from here. Hello?
Yeah, I'll just pick another question. This is from Shiva. Is that, how do we find a sector which is in momentum? Is it possible to do that?
That's a good question. But what you can do is you can go to the screener section. So it is not really available like the way you want. But in the screener section, in the Mojo Logic screener, you can filter across sectors. So if I want sectors which technically are bullish, I can go and select individual industries. Like I can select the broad industries and see what is happening in these industry stocks and where they are, what is the technical trend. You can also do this for the fundamental momentum, which is the result column you can use. Here, what it tells you is, of the results which have come till now, what is the trend in that? So if I want to select, let's say FMCG. So of the 33 stocks which have declared results, 15 are positive, 45% are positive, 13 are flat, and 15% is negative. So this will give you a good glimpse of what is happening in the financial trend. So this is the fundamental momentum in this industry. Like if instead of FMCG I select IT, 53% are positive. I can also do another filter of market cap. Let's say overall IT is 53% positive, but large cap IT is 85% positive. So you can build these kind of queries and you can see what's happening in the financial trend.
Okay, question, Mr. Farooq, is that I have a model portfolio which MarketsMojo manages. I have another personal portfolio of 25 stocks, most of which are buy, strong buy, but there are a few hold. How do I change these hold to buys and strong buys, as optimizer not suggesting anything?
Yeah, because see, what optimizer is saying, this is still rated to hold, so you can either continue to hold, or if you want to switch, then you can do it. But what you can do is, when you are optimizing your portfolio, so this was the portfolio that we had seen. Let me go all stocks. I will do a fast forward and go directly ahead. Let's say I want a moderate portfolio. So these are the suggestions. Now holds will still be here. That's listed. But what you can do is you can drag and drop them. You can drag and drop them to the sell category. So then after this, you'll be left with only the good stocks. And once you go ahead, then the cash which is generated will automatically be invested in good or high quality stocks. So let's say I put it here. And once I go ahead, now my allocation will automatically get changed to the higher rated stocks. So this is one way you can change your holds to buys.
Okay, this question, Mr. Rajesh Nair, is that hi Karan, I received a sell call for Bosch Limited in both my aggressive and model portfolio last night. But when I check the score, it's still showing 69 hold. Is there any error on this call? As it's still not sell as per Mojo score.
Correct. It's still not sell, but it has exited our list of model portfolio. So model portfolio has a more stringent criteria of buy and sell. Not all holds will exit, but there are multiple different filters and checks built on that. So Bosch used to be one of our Mojo stocks, also in part of model portfolio. The score has declined, and it has triggered an exit call in the model portfolio, and that's why we've come back and for the users who were holding it in the model portfolio, we'll give them a call to exit. And tomorrow we'll give you a call of what the alternative replacement stock is.
Okay, this question by Mr. Chandrasekhar is there where one can find annual reports of company?
The annual report PDFs right now are not available on the website, but you can get the annual results. So let's say so in the financials, you can get the annual results. In the sense, annual P&L balance sheet is what is available. I think, sorry, you will get the
okay. Yeah, I think it's slide.
There is some network issue, but you will get the result tables. You will not get the PDF; those are not available. But you will get the result tables when you go to the profit and loss section.
Yeah. Okay, this question by Mr. Rama is that purchase price should include the commission also. How do we take care of this issue?
So when you add the stock to your portfolio, you can add it post brokerage, net of brokerage. So TCS. When you put the price, put the net of brokerage and taxes. So that is the actual price that you paid for this stock. So for buys, the price will increase. For sales, the price will come down. But use the net price so that we'll be able to more accurately track your portfolio.
Also, one of the investors asked that can you list notifications to a separate page with at least 1 month data, or trigger an email for each notification?
Okay, sure. So that's a good suggestion. We've also discussed internally if we can create a new page for notification, because right now I think last 3 or 4 days notifications are visible. But yeah, we can definitely discuss this. That's a good point.
A question, Mr. Funny, is that is it correct to invest in a fresh model portfolio, or better to wait until we see a recovery?
See, again, this question is more on timing the market. No one can really time the market. No one really anticipated when the corona crash would be so severe or the rebound will be so high. So timing the market is really, no one can do it. What we can help is at any point of time be in the best rated stocks. So what we saw in the corona time when there was a huge market crash, there were a lot of sell calls that got triggered in our system. But then so our portfolios also went down, but they did not go down as much as the market. When they went down and there were a lot of sell calls at that point of time, we were able to pick stocks which looked good in that market. So even with the fall, those stocks were looking very good. And we shifted to those stocks. And when the market rebounded, the rebound was very fast in these portfolios versus the action market. So there will be ups and downs in the market. We believe you invest when you have the money, and don't try to time the market, because no one has been able to time the market. You're coming to us for your equity allocation. For equity allocation, we will suggest you the best stocks at that point of time. So really the call is you should be invested for the long term. There will be short-term jitters in the market, ups and downs. So have a longer-term horizon. Or long term, we should be able to help you beat the benchmark. But in the short term, it can be up.
Well, so I'll pick up two questions by Mr. Rakesh from the YouTube chat. Suppose I make a moderate portfolio of 2 lakhs and after 2 months, I want to add a big amount of rupees 20 lakhs. Is it advisable to add to the existing 2 lakh portfolio or create a new one?
You can do both. Even in the existing portfolio, you can add. So what the existing portfolio will do is it will first try to allocate within those 10 stocks, because from those which are still in our current buy list, it will try to allocate first to those. And if it does not get complete, then it will allocate to the new 1 or 2 new stocks. But since the amount is much higher, you can even create a new portfolio. And because that will pick up the best stocks at that point of time. So you can do both the approaches. I would suggest that you can create a new portfolio at that point in time. Usually we suggest the other way around. If you invested a big chunk and you're investing small amount, we say add in the same portfolio. But since here it's the reverse, you first invest in small and then you're going to be investing a big chunk. You might want to invest in a new portfolio.
And also, Mr. Rakesh asked that can he use the 19999 link 3 to 4 times?
Yes, you can use this multiple times. This is allowed right now. So if you use it to, let's say 3 times, the subscription will get extended by 6 years using this link. So it is allowed right now. You can subscribe multiple times using this link, or you can even go for the 10-year plan.
Okay, so this question by Mr. Guru is that, is there a plan to build an interface to trigger buy or sell orders from the model portfolio directly through our brokers?
We have discussed this internally, but we've not gone ahead and done this integration as of now. This is one of our this is one thing that we want to do, so that there is easier. It's easy for you to execute, and the trades come back seamlessly. But it will take some time, because all these integrations will take some time. But this is definitely in our scheme of things, and we are exploring of how best to do this.
Okay, this question by Mr. Dharmesh, it's a suggestion: if we can segregate the fundamental point score and the technical score of each stock, this will help to understand the stock move better.
So currently, the stock score that we've created combines all of them together, because we have seen in our past simulation that combining technicals with the fundamentals and valuations does have a good impact, because there are a lot of inbuilt checks and balances that happen with this. So a company which is, let's say the stock is going up, the company becomes technically bullish, but the valuation becomes expensive. So kind of these things kind of counterbalance each other, and that's why the score works very well. So that's why we created this code. But if you want to track them separately, all the details are also available on the website. So like go to any stock, and you will get the details of what the technicals of the company is, and what are the financials. But the scores are not segregated. So still one score that we create.
Okay. Question by Mr. Ankita is that, are you planning to bring Australia and the Infinhub list of countries as well?
Yes, so slowly we'll increase the coverage of Infinhub. Right now it is 20 markets, but we'll slowly keep increasing the coverage where we don't have, and we'll also keep putting the features which are there in MarketsMojo and not currently in Infinhub. Those will also keep coming gradually.
Okay, a question by Praveen is that, is it good to sell buy and move to strong buy whenever new stocks enter the Mojo list?
That is a strategy you can follow, but that will be a very high churn strategy, because you have to constantly be on top and see, okay, which stock has gone out, what a strong buy has become a buy, and then getting the strong buy. What we have seen over a long period of time, if the stock was a strong buy, it continues to be a buy, it is still a highly rated stock. Once the call changes, we will come back in a little, but between buys and strong buys, we don't alert it, because the broader call is still a buy. But that is a strategy you can follow, because overall we have seen strong buys have done better than buys. But it becomes a very high churn. You have to be on top of it. If you can do it, that's a good strategy. Otherwise, till the stock. Otherwise, I always advise go for the model portfolio. It is anyways tracking the call, and whenever the change is required.
This question by an anonymous attendee: is it possible to add a functionality that shows a historic date price of a script and percentage return that one would have generated, positive or negative, if one had invested on that specific date till date?
Yes, you can already find it. So this TVS Sri Chakra. You can go to the price section and you can put the date. So, if I want to see from this date, from 10th of May to today, stock has given 19% return, and you'll also get a comparative of the Sensex, what the market would have given, what the stock would have given. So this is already available on the price and update section in the price chart.
Okay. So this question by Mr. Basant Kumar is that what is the best way to utilize the MarketsMojo site out of the following three approaches? First one is invest only in model portfolio and add excess funds to invest only on those stocks. Second one is invest in newly added Mojo stocks. Or third, invest in stock of the month. Or do you suggest any combination of the above?
So we did kind of cover this question slightly some time back. So it really depends on how much time you can give to this, because when you're investing in Mojo stocks, which is newly come, and so the corpus is not limited, because whenever a new stock comes, you have to keep either buying that stock or when a stock goes out, you have to sell that. But there might be no other stock which is entered. Plus, you have to be on top which stock is coming and which stock is going out, and take investment decision accordingly. If you can, that's a good strategy. But model portfolio, what it does, it helps you. It already creates a portfolio for you. It is tracking it for you, and it will tell you when to exit this and what to buy next. So if you have the time to do it in Mojo stocks, that's a good strategy. But you can always invest in model portfolio even when you're doing Mojo stocks. Always create a portfolio. Don't take a stock by stock approach. Create a portfolio of 10 to 20 stocks, diversified across sectors, across market caps, rather than a single stock approach, because not every stock will perform. And so it's better to have a portfolio approach rather than a single stock. Stock of the month is for a side investment. So every month on 10th you will get the stock. It's a side investment. You will keep some money for stock of the month. If every month you can contribute something to that. But your core strategy, I would still suggest, should be around model portfolio. And if Mojo stocks is possible, you can divide something between those, maybe 50 split if you have the time and the resources to do that. Otherwise, model portfolio is best if it's difficult to manage this Mojo stocks.
This question by Raj is that quant funds have sort of become the flavor of the time, seeing the number of such funds being launched by most mutual fund houses. How is MarketsMojo different in terms of the calls that are generated from its algos?
It really depends on what they are tracking and what their philosophy is. So a lot of quant funds look at arbitrage opportunities or very short-term investment trading opportunities, or they're mostly on technical. So it really depends on the strategy. At MarketsMojo, what we do is we have 4 underlying parameters of quality, valuation, financial, and technicals. So which is a combination of long-term fundamentals and near-term financial and technical momentum. So this is our philosophy based on which we rate companies. People, different quant funds and different theories, different mechanisms. So every strategy is different. This is what we do, and we've seen it doing well in the past, and also in actual real life scenarios. We've seen over long term this strategy is doing very well. And so it really depends on the strategies that the quant funds work. Plus, one thing where we're different is in a mutual fund, everyone gets the same portfolio. In MarketsMojo, everyone's portfolio is different. It is unique to when you came, how much amount you put. So a person who's making a model portfolio of 2 lakhs will have different stocks. 20 lakhs can have different stocks. Let's say there's a stock with stock price at 50,000. The 2 lakh portfolio will not get it. 20 lakh portfolio might get it. So the time of investment, the strategy that you choose, aggressive or conservative, and the timing of investment, the price, amount, timing, and the strategy you choose will reflect your portfolio. And every portfolio is different. Every portfolio is tracked separately. While in mutual fund, every portfolio is same. So those are a few differences.
Okay, Karan, that's it with the Q&A session.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Before we leave, again, I want to highlight that 1999 is very special price, only available for users who were in the webinar. There's also a very special 10-year pack, which has very, very limited stocks.
Okay, I'll also drop the upcoming webinar links in the chat box. I also drop the offer links, and we have 2 upcoming webinars today. One is by our CIO Sunil Damania, where you'll be elaborating on the stock of the month, and the second one by our CEO and founder Dr. Moj Batra, where he would be providing his strategy of picking up multi-baggers. Highly recommend to attend both of those webinars, and looking forward to seeing most of you all coming for those events as well. Goodbye and have a nice day.